Our next speaker is Robin Vogel. Robin is a high conflict divorce coach and relationship expert who focuses on how relationship trauma impacts the nervous system. In her session, she'll explore how our brains respond to stress and tools to rewire patterns, rebuild trust, and create healthier connections moving forward. Take it away, my dear.
Thank you. And welcome, everybody. I know you've been here for a couple hours, and Mandy, you were just saying a little bit of information overload, which can happen. You'll be happy to know that my piece, my presentation today has some experiential, because for me, my work, as I call it, Come Back to Love, it's the name of my business, it's the name of the book. It's all about how we process and take things in through the nervous system and through the body. So I'll just invite everybody to start with a deep breath just to make that transition from Susan's amazing talk. Loved it. And I love how you actually touched on the nervous system and changing habits and patterns. So that was an awesome kind of prelude to where we're going today. So, yeah, I just invite you to take a breath, maybe stand up, shake out your body a little bit, sit back down. I can't see all of you, but I know you're there, and I know you've been here for a couple hours. So, welcome. Before we talk about brain rewiring, which is the subject of today's talk and my piece, it's really about rewiring the brain and the nervous system to prepare for relationship going forward. So I want to welcome you to this part of today, which is about post-divorce. And if you're still going through divorce, that's okay, because you might be thinking into the future a little bit. And if you're on the other side, no matter where you are, you're in the right place. This information is evergreen, everlasting, and always helpful. So I want to name something and I want to put it into the room. And it sounds like this. It's not that you don't want a healthy relationship. It's not that you haven't done the work, because I know you have, to one degree or another. And it's not that you're broken. And these are things that I hear my clients and my students tell me when they come to work with me. They feel like they're broken. They feel like they just can't make it work. They don't know why they keep repeating patterns over and over again. They don't know why they keep dating the narcissistic person over and over again. And that is very much the focus of my work, to help you figure out and learn why that is, and then do the healing work so that obstacle is no longer there and you can actually choose healthy relationship for yourself, starting with the relationship you have with yourself and extending that into wherever you choose, but certainly with your next partner. So what I see over and over again, especially with thoughtful, capable, emotionally aware people, is this confusion. Why do I keep reacting in the ways that I have? Why do my relationships feel intense or exhausting or unsafe, threatening, even when I think I'm choosing a good person? It might feel like or sound like, why does my body panic and I get like heart palpitations and I start to shut down, or I attach too quickly and then I detach? And there's all these things that happen. And we're going to talk about why today, so that you understand what's happening and so that you stop thinking that you're broken and that something's wrong. So it's not a character flaw. It's not that anything is wrong. It's just that the nervous system is doing exactly what it learned to do. Now, for some, your nervous system learned these patterns a long time ago in your life, early childhood. And for some of you, your nervous system developed patterns during a relationship in your adult life. Either way, the nervous system is repeating a pattern. So I want to reframe that for you. Most people think relationship trauma is about what happened to them. And we talk about the story and we tell the story over and over again. But from the nervous system's perspective, trauma isn't actually the main event. It's what didn't get resolved afterwards, and how the nervous system keeps repeating itself and stays stuck in a pattern. Explained really simply, the body learned connection, relationship, intimacy, and then if something happened that felt like abandonment or something was actually more dangerous, something felt threatening, whatever your situation was, those two things fire together in the brain and then they become connected. And it's something that we say in the world of like neuroscience, what fires together wires together. So you have a relationship, it's going well, and suddenly you have this repetition of abandonment, let's say, within the relationship, and you're still in the relationship. Every time later on you feel into, your body experiences the relating, you can also at the same time be experiencing that sense of abandonment, because in the brain, the neurons are firing together and they create a pattern where they're traveling together. And I love this work because it's so steeped in neuroscience, and much of it, and hopefully more and more, there's some really specific studies that look at the brain, look at neural pathways, and look at MRIs pre and post experiences and actually show change does happen in the brain. And I just want to pause for a moment to say that the reason why I got into this work, like I'm a psychotherapist, I do a lot of emotional work and a lot of deep healing work on the emotional level. I do internal family systems work, which I absolutely love, and I combine it with shamanic journeying, and we go in and find that reason that things aren't going in the way that you want them to. But what I learned as I was doing my own healing and working with clients over the last more than 20 years at this point is that the emotional work takes us to a certain point. Absolutely imperative to do it, really helpful, changing. But for me, it didn't take me to where I actually wanted to be. I kept coming up against obstacles. And I kept saying to myself, what's happening? I've been doing like all this deep work. I don't understand why I keep repeating this pattern. And that's exactly what I hear from the people that come to work with me. And then I stumbled upon, I don't think there's any accidents, but I did stumble upon the work of neuroplasticity about 6 or 7 years ago. And I decided to do it, to take it on the practice of neuroplasticity, a specific practice. I'm going to teach you one tool today, so you'll have that. And as I started doing the practice, I started to feel much better. And the things and the places where I was stuck, they just dissipated and dissolved. And physical symptoms I was having from my own trauma also disappeared, which was like amazing because that had been going on for so many years. So I started bringing in the neuroplasticity practice into my come back to love practice, to my workshops, my retreats, my private work with clients. And it's just been incredible because it works. It actually works. So it's amazing. And I'm very happy to be here to share this with you today. All right. So I was saying that, what wires together, fires together, and you have a not so great experience while you're in the context of relationship, and then those things stick together. And so even years later with a loving partner, your nervous system may still be on high alert or wanting to protect itself, scanning for threat, that kind of thing. So this can show up in a couple of different ways. These are some things that I see most often in my practice. If you're online dating or thinking of online dating or communicating with somebody via text, I often see clients like really overanalyzing things and like overthinking and overanalyzing instead of taking things at face value. Somebody I think earlier just spoke about that kind of looping that happens. Oh yeah, Deanna, in the middle of the night, that sort of thoughts that can loop. So that's an example. Pulling away when things start to get close or you start to get a little more intimate, you find yourself pulling away, you find yourself making the other person wrong or not attractive or whatever it is, it's just not right. Another example is people pleasing and then feeling resentful. I know people pleasing is a big topic. We could do a whole day on that or more. But you might find yourself like trying really hard to make the other person happy and have them love you and have yourself feel loved. That's one of those adaptations from trauma. And choosing unavailable partners, emotionally unavailable and beyond. Sometimes people will choose married people and over again. And the emotionally unavailables, again, a big topic. But these are some examples you might relate with. And again, you can look at them as this is a bad habit. Why do I keep doing this? And I want to say your body and your nervous system developed strategies of survival that once made perfect sense. If you were in a dangerous situation and your body learned how to protect itself, I celebrate that. I always celebrate the way I did that in my own life with my own trauma, and I celebrate that in my clients and students. Thank God we have ways to protect ourselves. However, later on down the road, those same ways that we learn to protect ourselves are actually blocking us now from being in intimate, loving relationship. So I hope I really drove that point home because that's really important. All right. Gonna invite you to take a breath with me. I feel like I'm talking and I want to just take a pause to calm down my nervous system. Yeah. All right. So I want to add one more piece to that the brain didn't learn relationship through insight and through information. It learns the experience of relationship through your body. And that's why we're really focused on the nervous system as a significant part of healing. What happens is the limbic system, which is the way our nervous systems take in information, takes the information in first, and then our mind takes it in after. So the nervous system is taking in information like subconsciously, which is important to realize that's actually happening. We think we're thinking, but the nervous system has already taken things in, made decisions, decided, where to protect or not, and engaged the patterns that it's had for a long time. It's basically running like an old code, right? So rewiring for love or rewiring for relationship doesn't mean you're erasing the past. It means you're teaching your nervous system something new while you're safe and out of the situation you've been in so that the nervous system can take on new information and rewire itself and act then in different ways. And again, pre-MRIs, neuroplasticity tools, post-MRIs literally show brain waves going in different directions. The amygdala, which is part of the brain that gets enlarged when there's been a stress or a trauma or a crisis, they've also measured the amygdala and the size, and they can show that it decreases as you rewire your nervous system to feel safe. Pretty amazing stuff. So I know this both professionally and personally. I just mentioned something about my personal work, and I always teach and have been for many years the work that I've done on myself. Because if it works on me, then I have absolute confidence that it's going to work with you. So for me, I had a parent. My mother died when she was really young. She was 37 years old and I was 10 years old. And that was obviously a huge trauma, a huge crisis, and a rupture. And I spent decades repeating the pattern of love and abandonment, because that's what I had experienced. And again, those two things were wired together. It's taken me many years and to unravel that and actually understand what was going on and stop asking the question, what's wrong with me? Why can't I fix this? And and like I said, when I added the neuroplasticity piece, things really shifted. So we're not going to ask again what's wrong with me, but we're going to ask, what did my nervous system learn? And when you ask that question, that's where the healing can actually begin. So I want to offer you a very simple experience, not therapy, just awareness. I want to invite you, and I know I can't see you, but I'm going to trust that you're joining me. I want to invite you to put a hand or two on your heart, on your chest, or maybe on your belly, whatever feels right for you in this moment. And I want to invite you to take a nice deep inhale. And as you saw, I just kind of huff the exhale. So I want you to do that a couple times. A slow, deep inhale, and then a longer exhale if you can. Great. And if you're in a space to do it, I'll invite you to close your eyes and think of a relationship moment where you felt activated but not overwhelmed. Just something small if you can, and you might go to the big thing, and that's okay. But just for a moment, touch in. I don't want you to go into it. Not if this isn't about re-traumatizing. This is just about what happens in your body. Maybe there was something you had to do the other day with your ex, or something came up with your children and you just noticed. And all I want you to notice in this moment is what is happening in your body. Like for me, when I start to just go there and talk about it, I feel a little bit of sensation in like the upper part of my belly. So this is just about noticing. And then I want you to take a really nice deep breath and exhale and shake that out and shake that off. Great. Alrighty. So hopefully you can shake that off, because we're going to move into another exercise that is going to be really helpful. And that was just an example of bringing presence to your body and noticing when your mind goes someplace or your nervous system's already there thinking about what happened, the body has a response. Yeah. So all this work is through the body so that your body and your nervous system feel safe to be in a new, loving relationship down the road, one that lasts. When the nervous system changes and feels safe enough to stay present, your choice returns. You're actually able to make an aligned choice for yourself. And when choice returns, you're choosing for yourself in a healthy way. And that's the where you're headed. So I just want to hold that out as the goal of this work. Of course, in 20 minutes, I'm giving you like the speed version and a little bit of practice. And there's so much more. And my book is filled with these exercises. It's a book, but it's also like part workbook. My publisher asked me, like, should we publish this as a workbook? Because it's got so many exercises in it. So go ahead and pre-order your copy. It'll be out on Monday. All right. What I would like to do is explore one tool in the last few minutes that we have. Yeah. All right. This exercise is called Future Memory. I love the name of it as well. So I want you to just take a moment and think about what you want your future relationship to feel like. I know a lot of people spend time. I want it to be this height and this age and look like this. But I want you to let go of all that. And I want you to just think about what you want your future relationship to feel like. And this isn't like The Secret, manifestation, that kind of work. This is really based in neuroscience. There's 4 steps, and we're just going to go through them quickly, and then you'll learn them, and then you'll repeat them, because rewiring the brain isn't about doing it one time and it's done. It's the repetition of the practice that rewires the brain. And when you can feel into the future relationship that you like, that you want to have, and get it into your body, then you're in the process of already actualizing that in the future. All right. So you've got, I'm hoping, how you want it to feel. I want you to take a breath and gently close your eyes. The rewiring is closing off the old patterns that chose something unhealthy and unaligned for your adult self. And your nervous system will begin to relax as soon as we step deeper into this exercise and to step 2, which is to make it bigger. The way you want to feel. Exaggerate it a bit inside yourself as you're thinking about it, as you're feeling into it. I like to say turn up the volume on the experience with all of your senses, like exaggerate. And then we're going to use bilateral tapping, which is the scientific piece where that's been studied. And you're going to take your hands and cross them over your chest, cross them over your heart. And you're going to tap in this experience left and right. So bilateral means back and forth, not at the same time. And you're going to tap, tap. Left, 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 right. And breathe. And feel the experience in your future memory of a relationship that meets you in all the ways that you want to be met, so that you feel loved, you feel cared for, you feel cherished. You're the receiver of kindness and gratitude. whatever it is for you. I'm throwing the things out that are there for me and likely for many of you. So just tap that in, allow your shoulders to relax, allow your belly to relax. And I'm going to invite you to pause and take a breath. That exercise, the bilateral tapping, the envisioning of what you want to feel, and the turning the volume up on it and making it very exaggerated, start to create new neural pathways in your brain so that the old pathway of choosing something familiar that's been unhealthy, that's been a source of protection over the years, starts to quiet down. And what gets more and more present and prevalent in your system is this new way of being in relationship. And it's very important that it's how you want it to feel. So you don't need to become someone new. You don't need your nervous system to feel like relationship and intimacy are a threat. It's really just rewiring your brain and therefore your body that rewires your experience. So I went through the steps. I'm just going to say them one more time. You're going to write down or think of how you want relationship to feel. Then you're going to close your eyes and exaggerate that. And then you're going to tap it in. And I know you'll be able to listen to the recording, but just to review that, it's really just 3 steps. And then you just notice how you feel, step 4. And repetition. So doing that over and over again. And really also that should relax your nervous system. So just if you're feeling anxious and start to worry, and it's not 8 p.m. at night when it's time to worry, then just the tapping actually calms down your nervous system. So it's a great tool anyway. So I'm wishing you all the best, and it's been great to be here and talk about rewiring the brain for healthy relationship. Please either go right to Amazon.com and order my book. You'll get tons more exercises, deeper and incredible exercises to really start catching limiting beliefs, start accessing the obstacles, and really allowing them to be released so that you can make a really clear choice for yourself in the future going forward. And yeah, you can also go to my website, comebacktolove.com, and that's where you'll find free gifts and all the goodies. So thank you so much, Mandy and Deanna.